Previously on the Comic Junkies Corner.
What happened?
You were possessed by a demon.
How?
It's okay though, I cured you.
Anyway, Ash and I are going to get this book to the museum. Hakeem will stay here with you.
All I know is I'm gonna go shower. I smell like death. Oh my god.
Shit.
What happened?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't know.
It's an EMP.
What?
Everything's knocked out. The car, my phone, everything's dead.
How?
Guys, you have to get out of here.
What?
Run and get help. We'll hold her off.
No, are you crazy?
It's not a request, okay? It wants you. We're not going to let that happen. Look, the police shouldn't be far. Just run and get help.
But I just... What do I do? What about you?
Just go. We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Resistance will only bring you pain.
Droid!
Only human.
Hey! Let them go! It's me you want!
You are mistaken. I do not want you. There is no need for you. I am your replacement. I am smarter, faster, and stronger. I am superior to you in every way.
We'll see, metallic bitch.
Hey there guys, Mikey here, and welcome to the Comic Junkies Corner Thursday edition, where we talk about books, movies, and TV shows. And, of course, we're going to get into the second part of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. If you have not watched the first part, there is going to be a link that will show up right there. So you can click on that link, go back, watch that review, and then come back and watch this one. Go ahead, I'll wait. If you thought that was awkward, just wait till future me forgets to actually put the link up in the corner. Yeah. So as I said, this is the second part of a 3-part Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. review series. We're going to be talking about the LMD pod. I don't know why they call them pods, but that's apparently what they're called. I don't know if that's like TV terminology or whatever, but I call them sections, but they're called pods for some reason. But the second pod, the LMD pod, is pretty much the quote-unquote Android takeover, and I'll get into why that is. So basically, without a hitch, we pick up right where the first section left off after the events of the Ghost Rider, and he took his uncle to some realm of of something to hell, I guess. And it's, everyone's found out about Ada. People are definitely upset about this, Director Mace being one of them, but they're kind of like, okay, I get it. It was still wrong, but I get it. So, and everyone kind of has their little secrets and stuff and little bendings of the truth. Director Mace definitely did something with Daisy. I said it right this time. I said it right. I said Daisy. I didn't say Sky. I almost wanted to though. But yeah, he does that for Daisy and pretty much kind of tells everyone like, yeah, she was working with us the whole time. She wasn't an outlaw. That was just all for show. It was just so we could get her in to the underground and figure out what this stuff is all about. But there's this group out now, and they're hunting the Inhumans, and they call themselves the Watchdogs. If you really think about it, it's kind of like they're introducing I don't know a lot about the Inhumans, but it looks like you're kind of introducing the X-Men without introducing the X-Men in a sense. So like the way some Inhumans are kind of treated, there's people prejudiced against them, and there's it's everything that you see with the X-Men. You kind of see it with the Inhumans, which you can go either way. It's like, okay, yeah, I really enjoy the fact that you see this and it's happening, and this would really happen. Like people would, they would cast people out because they're different and they're not like us, and they could have the potential to cause you real harm. But like I said in the last episode, man, good or bad, it doesn't matter what kind of power you have. You could have a good person behind the wheel, and you can have a bad person behind the wheel of a car who run you over, So it's like, good or bad, take your pick. But, like there's the Sokovia Accords. Everyone has to register and stuff like that, especially if you're going to be doing superhero work, and that's something that Sky has to deal with. But it just so happens that one of the people, like, I guess, is she a senator? I don't remember. Correct. Post down in the comments below. I don't remember if she's a senator or not, but she is actually one of the Watchdogs, believe it or not. When Sky is going to sign the Sokovia Accords. And they know this. They know that there's something, that she's behind a whole lot of stuff and everything like that, so they're trying to out her, but they're always kind of like a few steps ahead. And they're trying to figure that out, like, okay, how does he know that? It's kind of like, with the clairvoyant, like at the time, there was Ward. So Ward was like feeding information and stuff like that. He was the mole, and so was the character played by Bill Paxton, rest in peace. But it's kind of like that. It's like someone's feeding them information. How are they getting it? And at the time, they're thinking that it may have been General Talbot. They're thinking it was General Talbot was the mole, and they have a reason for that. Now, remember I said something in the previous episode about how the director was an Inhuman? Well, turns out he's not. And the reason that he has this super strength is because they've been injecting him with the serum. He has to take this serum every time he's going to go out and do inhuman things. So, yeah, they find out about that. And, of course, at the inopportune time. And the thing of it is, these people already know. They know, and they go for the case. And that he's keeping his injections and stuff in. And, it's just like, they know. It's like, how did they know? And I'm like, okay, there's a mole. There's obviously a mole again. And I'm thinking it might be a specific person, even though I don't want it to be. But there might be a specific person that's doing it. But we'll get into that in a little bit. So like I said, after the events of Ghost Rider, they pretty much were just like, hey, thank you for everything, but we have to confiscate all your work. They're telling Dr. Radcliffe this now, and it's like, thank you for everything you've done, but we got to confiscate all your work. It's procedure, But it doesn't go well, because they try to shut down Ada, and all of a sudden, Ada cannot be shut down, or so it would seem. Ada suddenly becomes, I guess, sentient in a sense. Like, she has gotten a taste of the power of the book, and she wants the book and she tries to get it from them. And it's so funny, like this whole sequence of events that actually happens with this. It's kind of unnerving, but it's kind of funny in the regard, because especially the way Mac and Yo-Yo play it, because it's played for kind of a joke in the sense that, like, because they're very self-aware. They're like, haven't you ever seen Terminator or The Matrix or any of that? It never ends well, iRobot. Come on, this never ends well when you create machines that, you know, are supposed to mimic humans, and then they're going to sit there and they're going to take over, and this always happens. What is wrong with you? But honestly, that's probably how I'd react too. I'm like, have you not seen any of these movies? What are you doing? And like I said in the previous episode, person that plays Ada, great, good job, because she really does kind of pull off this demented Pinocchio, I guess, to kind of say it. She really does pull that off, and to the point where it kind of fools everyone. But I always said something's a little bit off. I didn't know what. I'm like, something's a little off about it, about the whole situation. But you start to see things unfold after that particular Ada is destroyed. I say that Ada because there's more than one. And unfortunately, someone else was behind this whole trying to get a hold of the Darkhold thing. And it was Holden Ratcliffe. And I felt just so terrible because, like, I was just starting to like that character. I always kind of do. I liked him, like, mainly from the Mummy series. It's like, I did like him. Even in the third one, I actually did like him, even though I didn't like the movie. I liked him in it. But I was like, oh, Radcliffe, man, why you do this, man? Why you do this? But yeah, it turns out that he's not actually evil. He just was corrupted from reading the book. As I said in the previous episode, like, people are just, they read the book, it warps their perspective on things, and they think that they're doing something right when they're really not. So yeah, it was only a matter of time before they kind of really just realized, like, yeah, this was not Ada's doing, this was Radcliffe's doing. So Radcliffe goes to the Watchdogs to be put under protection. And, you know, he sends out an LMD in his form, you know, who just kind of took his place and everything. But that's not the only one he sent out. Remember that brain I told you that was being built at the end of the Ghost Rider segment? Well, turns out that that was a brain most likely for Agent May, because Agent May was also replaced. Only she's not aware of it. The Holden Radcliffe LMD is very aware. He's just playing the role, and you don't realize he's been replaced until, like, later on, probably around the time Fitz, you know, picks up on it. Agent May doesn't even realize it. She has a prime directive, and there's, like, little subtle programming that keeps inching her towards getting the book, and she doesn't know it, and it's so messed up. It's like it's really, really messed up, because you think about it, she is probably the closest to an actual human. Even though you always kind of know, like, something's not right with her. You just... And even when she figures it out, she can't do anything about it. She can't tell anyone. She's just like... she's not programmed that way. She can't hurt Radcliffe or anything or make him do anything because she's not programmed that way. And, you know, you think back on, like... on stuff like what was it, like even with Wolverine in, like, the comics version and stuff like that, you think back on what they've made him do and programmed him to do certain things of what they've done to people. I think it's just as bad to do it to, like, an entity that doesn't know, you know, when you do something like that to them, and I think it's just as bad. But eventually they hunt down the leader of the Watchdogs, and he is this Russian guy who, honestly, let's be 100% honest here, nobody cares about this guy. Not even Coulson cared about this guy. It was so the show was so self-aware that you didn't even care about this. But, like, who the frick is you? Who are you? What are you doing here? What do you want? What do you want? But yeah, it was so funny when that confrontation finally happened, because he was so gung-ho about getting back at Coulson about, you know, something that happened years ago. And I understand him being upset, but, like, to go through all of this mess just to get to him. It was kind of like, he's like, I don't even remember what I was there to steal. He probably was lying about that, but still, it's like, who are you? But of course, like, he gets his comeuppance because he goes up against Daisy. Almost said it again. He goes up against Daisy, and Daisy puts the hurt on him, and he almost dies, but Ada does save him in this very creepy way. Now, I like I said, the actress that plays Ada, what is her name? Mallory. It makes no sense that this happens, but the way she plays it, it's almost like snake-like. She says something to him that she said to her earlier on and everything, and she almost moves like this snake, and just the way she says it, and it's so creepy, and I'm like, that was played very well. It makes no sense why you would do that, but it's played very well. So it's almost like human qualities creeping in, even though that's not... It doesn't necessarily make sense in regards to Ada unless there was upgrades in that particular sense. Kind of like the same thing they did with May. So like kind of giving her consciousness and memories and stuff like that. So maybe there had something to do with that. Like I said, made no sense, but the way she played that was great. It was genuinely creepy. But unfortunately, in this raid of the Watchdogs headquarters, or whatever you want to call it, come to find out, not everyone made it out of the headquarters. Not everyone made it out, even though it looked like that's what happened, because Mace was captured earlier on. You know about May. May was captured, but you don't know necessarily. You don't know yet that Fitz, Coulson, Mace, and Mac were replaced with LMDs, and you don't know this at first, but you eventually start to figure it out. I figured it out kind of beforehand, but the only person I did not figure out was Fitz. I thought Fitz was still human, and when you figure out that he's an LMD, you're like, it's like, come on, Fitz, why you do this? Why you do this, man? So yeah, it's actually a little bit emotional. I'll be honest about that, because Fitz and Simmons, that relationship, man, that's got to go on. That love that must last forever. So when you see like that happen, you're like, oh, damn. But it's not Fitz. It's the LMD version of Fitz, but it's still like, I kind of was wishing that it wasn't. If that Fitz wasn't one of them, but it just so happens, And the way I can kind of compare this, I compare it to The Thing. If anyone has seen the 1980s version of The Thing, or even the 2011 version, I think it's 2011, the prequel that came out, The Thing, it was very claustrophobic, and it was very suspenseful, because after a while, you don't know who is who. So, you're like, is that an LMD, or is this person an LMD? It's like, okay, that these people are now, but who else is? And you start to question, they start to question each other, and it's played really, really well. So you might be wondering what they're actually doing with the bodies of Agent Coulson and Director Mace, Mac, and the others. You might be wondering what they're doing with them. Well, their minds, they're unconscious, but their minds are in a particular place that's called the framework. And if you want to know more about that, you have to find out in the next episode. But before I go, all in all, this one actually, to me, topped the previous segment. The Ghost Rider segment was awesome. This one was actually good and suspenseful, because there was, like I said, there was a time where you're just like, there's the claustrophobia sense, there's the trust, the betrayals and stuff, and you're just like, you don't know who's who. So it's done really well. It's written very well. I gotta say, like, it I don't want to say much better, but it's definitely better than the first segment. Like I said, first segment's fun, great, awesome. This one, it took itself a little bit more seriously, and it really paid off, and I really enjoyed it. So what did you guys think of the first 2 parts of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4? We'll get into the 3rd part in the next episode, but whatever you think, put it down in the comments below. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Comic Junkies Corner McBlam Entertainment, where we try to bring in a little bit of enjoyment to your day every day. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Hello?
Mr. Michael, get that project done yet?
Yes, sir. I am sending it to you right now.
2 days for a 1-week job. You seen or Superman?
Superman?
Yeah, you know, superhero, faster than a speeding bullet. DC Comics.
Oh, you know I don't read that stuff, sir.
Yeah, they're not as popular anymore. They're hard to find. I gotta say, you're missing out.
I got everything I need right here.